Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Alexa. As you can tell by the title of this video, we will be reading books on my physical TBR this month. This weekend, I don't know. It's currently Wednesday. You guys are seeing this sometime next week, but don't know how long this video will be filmed for. I don't know how long the filming of this video will take. It's late, I'm tired. Ignore me. No, don't ignore me. You're watching my video. Anyways, but we will be reading books from my physical TBR. It is currently at 87 books, although it's more 81 because there's 6 of those books that are currently lost in the mail that I had already included in my physical TBR. So technically it's 81. I'm sorry, it's been in transit from Book Outlet for like 2 weeks now. I need to write them an email. But anyway, for now, at the moment, before I go and take the money that I'm gonna get back from that order and either reorder the same books or go to Winners and buy books from their book section, since I haven't done that yet, I have 81 books on my physical TBR. And the first book we will be reading is Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. This one is kind of a mafia romance, Why Choose? And I honestly people have said that it's one of the most chaotic books that I've ever read. And they said the same thing about Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straube. Yeah, I think it's Straube or Straub. And I ended up adoring that, really loving that book. It was chaotic, but it was also insanely good. So I'm hoping that this book might be the same thing. Now, I know I'm going into these books. I know they're probably not insanely well written. It's not the height of literature. I'm not reading some classic. This book will not be class materials for a classic literature program in university in the future. I'm reading this for the chaos and the fun times, and I'm bringing you guys along with me. So yeah, I'm gonna start this one, and I think I might be reading another one at the same time. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do this one and this one at the same time, or this one and this one, because I feel like sometimes when I'm reading a chaotic book, I kind of need to, if I read it for a little while, and I need to be okay, let's take a deep breath, let's go touch some grass a bit, let's go I need a little brain cleansing. Not brain cleansing, but just sometimes I need to take a break of a chaotic book, and I need to read a book that's less chaotic and more fantasy, that's completely different, so that I can get back into the so that I can have the most enjoyable experience. But this book, I also chose it because at night I love to read in bed on my Kindle, and this book I have currently on my Kindle because the writing is minuscule. I will show you how small the text is. This is criminal. I don't care how many words you put in your book. I will read them all. But if you're gonna, instead of putting the font this tiny, can we not make it, even though this I consider kind of small, this is a bit bigger. Or if you wanted really to have the ideal font size for me, because as you can tell, I do have bad eyesight. I do read with glasses. This, you could just make the book longer. I don't care if you make the book 600 pages. The Kindle version is 680 pages. For me, I'm why did you make the font so tiny that I can't even read it, even though I wear glasses? Maybe that's a me problem. But anyways, that's why I have it on my Kindle, and I usually read about 100 to 200 pages on my Kindle every night in bed. So I'm thinking since it's almost 700 pages on my Kindle, it might take me in the evenings when I read, it might be the only book that I read in the evenings throughout this entire video, and then during the day I read other books. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might have to read a book or two or just one. I think it's about one that I have to read that isn't for this video. That is an ARC. That's not on my physical TBR, it's an e-ARC. So I might be reading that as well on the side throughout this video, but I do have a 3-day weekend where I can just sit down and read all weekend if I want to. So I have all the time in the world to read. Not really. I have the 3 days in the world to read. But yeah, I'm gonna go do some reading. Tonight, I'm probably not gonna update you guys, but I'm just gonna start this, and wherever I get to tonight, I'll tell you guys about. Because anyways, it's 9 p.m. and I need to go to bed. Well, get in bed, not go to bed. I'm probably not gonna go to bed until 11:30. But I need to get into bed and read. Bye! Love y'all. See you tomorrow morning. Hello, people. I'm in the same spot, but about a bit over 24 hours later. I'm sorry I didn't update you guys throughout today, but I didn't get that much reading time. I was finishing audiobooks up for another just life in general, but I wasn't finishing because I try to not have too many audiobooks going on at once. So I didn't have the time to start any new, like a lot of any new audiobooks for this video, for our work or whatever. So I thought I would update you guys. I've started 2 books. I've started Den of Vipers and The Enemy by Sarah Adams. This one I started last night and I read a bit this morning. On the physical book, I'm on page 49. On the ebook, it says I'm on page like maybe 70 something, 60 something. So far, am I having a great time? Absolutely. Is it the best plot, the best character? Is it the best writing? Absolutely not. But am I having a grand old time? Am I enjoying myself? Yes. Would I ever date any of these men in real life? No, I would not touch them with a 10-foot pole. I would run away from them. I think they are toxic. So toxic for, like, just in general. I mean, number one, if there's threat, like, there's one that's a literal psycho. So I feel like that speaks for itself. But it's a dark romance. It's a dark romance where I know that these guys are not gonna be ideal boyfriends. They're not gonna be guys I want to date in real life because they're crazy. I mean, kidnapping or buying, like, getting someone in exchange for a debt for the mafia is already crazy. Being in the mafia is already a big no-no for me. So these are not guys I would want to go on a date with, like, but with her, I'm like, honestly, this is a vibe. Like, the book is a vibe. I'm enjoying it. It's, you know, what's the expression? Is it like watching a car burn and not being able to look away, or car crash or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels like I'm watching a car crash in real time and not being able to look away. Like, is it you know when it's like, it's so bad that it's really good? This is the vibe I'm getting for this. And now, I don't think the author wrote this book, like, you know, sometimes there's books where, like, you know, and the author knows this is not gonna be the next Wuthering Heights. It's not the next Pride and Prejudice. This is a insane, unhinged mafia book and reverse harem, white shoes, all that. And I am absolutely obsessed with it. I am loving it so far. Will this be a 5 stars? Probably not. Chances are it's gonna be a 4 or 3.75, but it's the type of 4 or 3.75 where I had a great time reading it, but I was just like, oh, this book is not, like, this is the highest rating I could give this book. But yeah, no, I'm still really much enjoying it. I'm having a chaotic, crazy time. And honestly, one thing, for a while I was like, oh, I don't know, the books that are kind of like chaotic or crazy, like, I don't know if I want to read them. And then this year I was like before I was like, I never read any monster romance. I read some lighter dark romance. The dark romance I had read, I think, was probably like Nocticadia or Lights Out, probably. And then this year I threw all that out the window. I read the first 4 books in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I read a bunch of monster romance. I read a book with a Kraken Shifter romance, with a Kraken Shifter MMC. Like, I've been reading a bunch of chaotic books. And honestly, I've been having the greatest reading year of my life. I've read 220 something books so far this year. It's an insane amount of books. I don't know how I got here, but I've been reading unhinged and fun books, and I've been having an amazing time. So this is what this book is. An unhinged, crazy book that I probably wouldn't recommend to most people unless you really do like unhinged unhinged books. Definitely don't read this book. But I am having a great time. And also, now we have The Enemy. Now, this is a man I would really date. This is a book I would recommend to everyone, you know? Like, everyone who reads fun romance. You know the new Sabrina Carpenter song, When Did You Get Hot? It's this book. The first chapter of this book has a When Did You Get Hot scene. Also, little sidebar to everyone who's liking the When Did You Get Hot Spencer Reid edit and are acting as if Spencer Reid got hot in the later seasons, and they're like, oh, when did you get hot compared to the first seasons? You don't deserve my baby. Spencer Reid was hot from the first season. Spencer, okay? If you're not able to love him at his dorky, geeky look, season 1, 23-year-old dude who looks more like a 19-20-year-old, not a 19-20 like 1,900. Nobody thinks that, Alexa. Nobody thinks that you're saying that he's almost 2 millennia old. I mean, like 19 or 20 years old, like that. Like, he's cute even then. He's hot even then, okay? So if you can't love him there at that moment, you can't love him at his peak post-prison read moments. And even season 5 moments, like boy band hair moment. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But anyways, back to this book. I am giggling, kicking my feet, blushing, and it is so good. So basically it is about this girl who had a feud in high school with her best friend's boyfriend's best friend. And they kind of just always hated each other. And then at graduation, like never really hated each other, but like they kind of, you know, just joked around. And then at graduation, well, he kind of thought they were joking around. She's like, he's my enemy. And at graduation, they're about to kiss. And then he realizes actually, they both liked each other the entire time though. She hated him but liked him. He liked her, didn't hate her. But he's like, oh, I can't kiss her. I'm about to go to France to study at Le Cordon Bleu to become a chef and a pastry chef and all that. So if I'm leaving for France for like culinary school, I can't kiss her because that would be unfair to her, since I'd be leaving her. Like, I'd be leaving her behind, and that's just unfair to her. She thinks he did that because he hated her and he didn't want to kiss her. But he's actually been, like, yearning for her this entire time. And now they have to basically, like, be nice with each other, like, all these years later when their best friends get married. And it is so good. I am 80 pages in, on chapter 10. Honestly, I know this is the last update of tonight because even though I say, oh, I'm going to update you guys later tonight when I'm in bed, I do not want to be seen. I am in a very oversized t-shirt from Clemson, the college universe, wow. Like my Clemson football 2022 not AFC, whoa. Like their championship. I basically, when we went to Clemson on our way back from Charleston this year, we literally stopped at the store and there was a $4 t-shirt from like a championship that they had won 2 years ago. And I was like, $4 oversized t-shirt, absolutely. So now I wear that. Like, I wash it often enough, don't worry. But I wear that almost every night to sleep. I love that t-shirt. Like, I'm not gross, but I love that t-shirt so much. But I have that. I have my moisturizer on, my giant glasses. I'm lying down but with my head like this so that I have a double chin. I don't want to be seen in bed, so I will not be updating you guys in bed. So I'm updating you guys right now, but I'm probably, honestly, maybe not gonna finish this, but get through maybe half of this. I have a 3-day weekend like I told you guys this weekend, so tomorrow is Friday, and I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so if I'm not finishing this tonight, I'm finishing this tomorrow, and my goal is that tonight I can at least get to, let's say, chapter 25, maybe? Like, read. So, like, get to chapter 26. So, like, have read chapter 25. I'm gonna put a bookmark, if I can find a bookmark. Oh, actually, when I bought my water bottle, they had this. I know it's not a bookmark, but it's like, get 25% off a pair of climbing pants or something like that, or outdoor gear. Girl, I know I have a national parks water bottle and I do go to national parks often whenever I can. Well, often. I'm not that often on like traveling to be able to go to national parks, but I know I visit new national parks every time I can. But do not let that fool you. I do not go outdoors. Like, I go outdoors, but like, I am not an outdoorsy person. And yes, I was in Scouts for 8 years. No. Why? Well, technically 8-ish years. Yes, I did multiple camping. Like, I camped multiple times. I did 2 World Scouting jamborees. Do not let that fool you. I did that for the friends. I am not an outdoorsy person. Given the choice, I would rather stay at home than go camping. I do not like camping, so yeah, no. Use that, and I'm gonna try to get to chapter 26 tonight and update you guys in the morning. I mean, it's not that bad. This is the difference that I have to read. And I'll be reading it on Kindle. Hello, guys. It is the next day. I actually did not read last night. Today, I finished The Enemy. So yeah, last night I didn't read anything, but today I did read because it was my Friday off, so I read The Enemy by Sarah Adams. I finished it. I'm hesitating between a 4.75 and a 5 stars, I'm not gonna lie. At first, in the first 2-3 chapters, I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of good. It's nothing amazing, but I'm really liking it. Like, I was like, yeah, it's good. I like it. I was like, maybe 4 stars, but towards the end, like once you get past the first 3-4 chapters, I was like, oh, this is maybe going towards a 5 stars. It was so amazing. Sometimes when it's an enemies to lovers, the guy sometimes can just be so mean. Like when it's not an enemies, well, this one is kind of an enemies to lovers, but also not. But sometimes the guy, like, I hate when the guy's like actually kind of mean with her. But in this one, he was actually so sweet. He was like, no, I don't hate you. And like the things that he would say were not actually mean. Or when he noticed that like he had said something that wasn't necessarily mean, but she received either like it brought up trauma from her past or just received in the way that it wasn't, he immediately was like, oh my God, what did I say wrong? I'm so sorry. Like that was not at all like what I intended it to. Like there was never any malicious intent behind his like little jabs. He was just like, that's what we've always done. Like we've always bickered. So it was just so sweet, and I definitely recommend you guys to go read it. It's so good. I love Sarah Adams. She is amazing. So now for the next books, I was thinking we could maybe change paths and finish another book tonight that I've started. There's 2 that I'm definitely not going to finish tonight because I have too many pages left. And then there's 2 that I could finish tonight. So first we have The Rom-Com by Devin Daniels. I'm currently on page, where is it? Currently on page 8. Chapter 8, page 104 out of 350. 250 pages. If I start early enough tonight, I could definitely get through. And I'm really liking it so far. I started it back in June, I think. And it's kind of giving me a 10 thing, like how to lose a guy in 10 days, but also kind of 2 weeks notice, which if you didn't know, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 2 Weeks Notice, You've Got Mail, The Holiday, some of my favorite rom-coms of all time. I am a big like early 2000s, late 90s rom-com fan. Specifically Nora Ephron. Nora Ephron, that's her name. Nora Ephron rom-coms, like think like that classic Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks, Billy Crystal, like those classic rom-com actors. Like that is, for me, that is pure rom-com. And this is the vibes. Well, also, I mean, Kate Hudson, obviously, Matthew McConaughey. Anyways, this is the vibes that this book is giving me, and I'm really liking it. I don't know why I haven't picked it back up, but I just put it down for maybe a few days, and then a few days turned into almost 3 months. And then we have one that I really don't have that many pages left. I'm currently on page 224 out of 338. And that is The Raiders of the Lost Heart. I think that if I do start it again tonight, I'm like gonna go back a chapter, like back to page 204 or something. Like, yeah, a chapter, just because I haven't picked this up in so long. I think last time I picked this up was either May or April, so it's been a while. I remember the plot, like I can remember about what happened, you know, like I remember approximately what happened. Even though I probably have read like 100 books almost since then, or like 75, I still, like, I basically remember the plot of every single book I read every year. If you are like, oh, what happens in this book, I can still tell you, maybe not like in super details, but I can at least summarize it for you. That is one thing about me. I have a great memory, and maybe that's why I'm able to read so many books, because I remember everything. So I'm like, oh yeah, like my brain is like processing the information super fast. I don't know. Or it's my ADHD. But yeah, basically I might finish this. So I have less than 150 pages left. I could easily get through this tonight. Or the 2 others that I definitely cannot get through tonight. We have Love Arranged. We have about, where was I again? No, I'm further than that. Just trying to remember what part I was at. I think it was at chapter 13. Okay, no, maybe not chapter 13. Maybe chapter 10, 12, or 11. Chapter 12. 11. So page 134. I've read about this, and I have this entire, like, I have, how many pages? I'm on 36, and this book is 539, 38. Pretty sure it's 538 pages. So I have about 400 pages left. I'm not finishing this tonight, but I could get through a good amount of reading done. And then lastly, we have this weapon of a book. I don't know why it's so heavy. Like, I have other books that are, you know, like this, okay? When the Moon Hatched. This book is a brick. This is a, wait, how many pages is in the paperback? This is a 700-page paperback, okay? It is a very big paperback. It is a very big book. There's a lot of pages. And yes, it is shorter, but still. This is a 500-page paperback. How is this book 3 to 4, no, maybe not 3 to 4, but at least 2 to 3 times heavier than this book? How is that possible? Like, this is almost heavier than, this is heavier probably than my Onyx Storm hardcover. Let me check. Or my Iron Flame one. My Iron Flame paperback is hardcover is 600 pages. This is 500, and this is 2 to 3 times heavier as well than my Iron Flame paperback. I don't understand. Anyways, but I think the plan might be today getting through, trying to finish this one, and then getting through as much as I can of this one in one evening. That's the goal. So I'm like, this, it makes no sense. I have less than 100 pages left, or about 100 pages left. Why have I not finished it? I'm not planning on DNFing it. I wasn't hating the book. Sure, it might be a 3.75 star, but I'm not hating it. I'm still kind of enjoying it. Like, I'm having a good time. I like it. I just don't love it. I don't, you know, it's kind of a good, it's kind of in the middle between good and okay, like a go-okay book. Like 3.75. For me, that's maybe not, like, that's maybe on the lower end of the average ratings I give, but it's still a good rating. 3.75 is still a positive rating. So, like, and it has time to redeem itself. So, like, it's dumb that I haven't finished this. I can finish this tonight, and I've been wondering what's gonna happen for, like, in my mind for weeks. So I think I'm either gonna finish this and get through as much of this one, or maybe I'm gonna try to get through some of either these two or start another book, or just decide to continue Den of Vipers after. Depending on how much time it takes me to read this, because sometimes when I'm in bed, I really love to have, like, lights off, Kindle on, fully in a blanket burrito. But yeah, I'm gonna go read. Good night. Good night? No, it's not even the night. Good morning, guys. It is 2 days later, 1 day later, I don't know. Last time I updated you guys, I was about to start this book. Well, finish it. And I finished it that night. I finished it. This is the end of the vlog, by the way. I'm sorry for how bad I am with updates, but I've seen a few places where people were saying, like, oh, they were, like, most people are done with, like, the b-roll footage of someone reading in a reading vlog. They just want to hear you talk about the books, and I'm trying something out. If you guys prefer my vlogs the other way, then I'll include more b-roll footage, but I was trying to see if people would prefer their vlogs this way. But basically, finished this book. It was, I think for now I'm landing on a 3.75, but it might land on a 4 star. No, I think a 3.75 is fair. I enjoyed this book. It was a fun book. Did I love it? No, I liked it. I had a fun time. It was a fun vibe, but I think I just, because of the, like, me not feeling, like, I was reading it and I was like, ugh, I'm not in the mood anymore. I don't know, like, this book is not vibing with me right now. So I stopped reading it, and then I picked it up too long after, and then I just didn't vibe with it as much because I wasn't into it. Like, I remembered everything that happened. Like, I just went back one chapter and just got back into it, like, without forgetting what was happening, but I don't know, I didn't vibe with it, and I felt like the ending was kind of weird and rushed. I just didn't adore it as much. But yeah, that one was a 3.75, and then sometimes yesterday, I finished. So yeah, no, this was 2 days ago, not yesterday, but the day before. Yesterday, I finished Den of Vipers, guys. You know how I was like, oh, people are saying this is unhinged, this is the most unhinged book they've ever read. I'm guessing they've never read Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straube, because it wasn't that unhinged. People were like, oh my god, it's unhinged, it's crazy, like, I don't know, they were just saying a bunch of things about this book that were crazy, they didn't love it, or like, well, I guess maybe it's because it was back in the era in 2021 where everything that was being recommended on most of Book Talk was cute, fluffy romances and fantasy, mostly YA books. So I'm guessing that if we read most of that and not much dark romance, people on Book Talk were used to that. But now that I'm used to dark romance and I read, like, some pretty unhinged books, pretty dark books, for me this was like, it was more unhinged than my usual read. Like, for sure, if you compare this to, I don't know, the Maid series by Danielle Laurie, or who else writes dark romance but it's not that crazy dark? I can't remember, like, but the Predator series or whatever by Runix, Dark Verse series by Runix, then sure, this one will look insane. And if you don't read that much Why Choose, this one you'll be like, ugh, this is the craziest book I've ever read. But when you're someone who has read Kiss of the Basilisk, most of Rena Kent's backlog, I've read the like Lights Out book by Nevessa Allen, I've read the Ruinous Love trilogy by Bryn Weaver. What else? I read like some pretty crazy books, like crazy dark romance books. Like I've read God of Malice. So for me, this felt just like, not a walk in the park, but definitely on the, like it wasn't like nothing I've ever read. It wasn't anything crazy insane. I've read multiple Why Choose books / series in the past that were this insane. Well, not this insane, but like unhinged like this, you know, like what is one, I don't know why, but sometimes when I'm trying to find books to compare a book to, I forget every single thing I've ever read in my life. But any other moment I could tell you every single book I've read this year. But let me go in my read category on Goodreads. But yeah, if you've read books like Kiss of the Basilisk, Losers by Harley LaRue, what other books are kind of great? Well, I mean, yeah, of course, Rena Kent books. If you've read, who else writes kind of other books? Sarah Kate books, a lot like monster romance. You know, like if you're a reader who reads more darker books, then this will feel not that crazy dark. Like it'll feel not normal, but it won't feel that out there compared to what you usually read. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought this was gonna be like a fun read that I was like, oh, maybe 4 stars. I think I might rate it a 4.5 stars. I know, crazy. Who is she? Rating a book 4.5 stars. I think I've realized that most of the books that are like the chaotic books that people are like, oh my god, this is the most unhinged book I've ever read, blah, blah, blah. Like these are starting to become some of my favorite reads. I really loved Kiss of the Basilisk. I finished it last week or the week before. Loved it. I loved, you know, like a lot of the books that people were like, oh yeah, it's my dark, unhinged like guilty pleasure book. Me, I'm like, guilty girl, this is one of the books I love this book. I had a great time and really enjoyed it. And honestly, like I said, or did I tell you guys or did I tell my mom? I think I might have told my mom. You know how at first I was like, oh yeah, no, like these guys are super, I don't know if it was in this vlog or it was in my TBR, but I was talking about how like sometimes books like this, it's like, I know the guys will be like super toxic and I would never date someone like that in real life. Like in real life, if this situation happened, I'd be like, call witness protection for the girl and then the jail for the guys. I thought it was gonna be like guys that are super toxic the entire time with her, like, you know, like not like sweet or stuff like that. But honestly, they became, I mean, sweet. These are mafia men who kill people. They can't be like super sweet in the like super soft rom-com type of guy, but for a dark romance, they kind of, as the book went and they got to know her, they slowly got rid of their toxic tendencies. They learned to do better. Like they learned to let her, give her freedom, to let her be who she is, because they're like, if we don't like give her freedoms, or if we're not healthier with her, like if we're not better boyfriends, we will lose her, or she will be losing herself. We don't want to be like our parents. We don't want to be toxic, abusive, stuff like that. Actually, they became kind of not super healthy, but like not like healthy like you would want in a relationship in real life, but for a dark mafia Why Choose romance, they became pretty healthy boyfriends. Like it was kind of a healthy relationship for the whole situation. But you know, I really had a great time reading this book. I really enjoyed it. I honestly, like, I know this book only had, this video had only 3 books instead of the usual 4 or 5, or like 4, but it is because this book on my Kindle was 650 pages. So this book took a lot longer for me to read. It took me a couple, like I started it 4 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago. No, 4 days ago, and I finished it yesterday. So it took me like an entire 3-4 days to read. And I was reading it a lot. I was switching between this book, and then at night I would read the ebook, and then I would switch to the audiobook on Spotify, and then like I'd go through all of these different formats. But I really enjoyed it. Like I had a great time reading it, and I might read more of this author's books, not gonna lie. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Just a quick wrap up of all the 3 books that we read. Where's the other one? I feel like I lost a book. I think I put it away. Okay, well, you guys know the other book that I read, the first one was The Enemy by Sarah Adams. This one was a 4.75. Might switch it to a 5, but I think it might stay at a 4.75. And that one I really enjoyed. This one was a 3.75. It's good. But yeah, this one was Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. I think I liked the characters, but the plot felt a bit lacking in some points. Like, it felt long, you know? Like, I was like, get to a point. And then this one is Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight, and it is a 4.5 stars. If you guys want more of my chaoticness, ADHD, insane reading, speed, whatever, please check out my other social platforms. I have Instagram, TikTok. If you want a little sneak peek at all the books I'm reading, go follow me on Goodreads and Fable. On Fable, I have a book club that you can join if you want to. I haven't updated it in a while, but it's fine. I want to really keep it back, like keep it alive, bring it back to life. And then I also, have playlists on Spotify that I rarely post, and then I have posts on Pinterest. I post on, honestly, early in the week, every week I post one video about from Monday to, like, the dates can change from Monday to Wednesday, like, it could be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on how big the video is, but usually I post about every 6 to 7 days. Yeah, I love you guys, and as always, I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you guys. Bye!